grab your cup. The other day I was in a conversation with someone. We were talking about spiritual bypass. Have you ever heard that term? It's actually a really important thing to consider if you've been working on moving beyond the things of your past, creating a different experience for your life, and you're doing a lot of things. I want to talk about spiritual bypass, and the opposite of that, or the flip side of that, I would say, would be traditional talk therapy. And maybe you've done both, but let's go into that a little bit if you still find that you're struggling, because I did. I used both. I did therapy multiple times throughout my life, marriage therapy, one-on-one therapy when I was younger. I've also done a lot of spiritual tools, and there's a place where people who've been trying both really still feel stuck, okay? So a spiritual bypass is when you use different practices, different tools that are more spiritual in nature, like prayer, like meditation, like getting still, and you use those practices, but you don't really do any of the healing around the emotions in your body, like the impact in your body and your nervous system. So when we just use the spiritual tools, it's like getting a how-to book. If you had a how-to book on how to make your life the way you want it, how to let the stuff go from the past, and you start in chapter 4. Starting in chapter 4 might be a great chapter. There might be really good techniques in there and really important skills. But if you haven't done what's in chapter 1, 2, and 3, you kind of still stay spinning. So I have had clients who are like, I always pray, and praying is great. Praying is great, but the impact in your emotions and your nervous system is also your responsibility. Healing is not just going to happen if you're missing pieces of that, right? So when here's what I think happens too. When people do just the spiritual work, they put the responsibility really on God. God, you come heal me. You come do this. And as we all know, we have free will, and we are here in charge of this life responsibility. So there's pieces that we also need to do in addition to that, so that we are fully taking on the process. Might you get where you want to go just with that? Maybe not, and probably it's going to take a long time. Because when you stop the prayer and you go out into your day, or you stop the meditation and you go out into your day, you might have a sense of calmness, you might have a sense of peace, but as soon as somebody says something, you're triggered again. As soon as dynamics of a relationship show up, you're back making choices. You notice the same patterns still there because you're missing chapters 1, 2, and 3. All right, so that's the term spiritual bypass means bypassing the emotional impact, the nervous system impact, the physical impact of what's happened, and only trying to do the spiritual pieces of it. And I love the spiritual pieces, and the work that I do with clients includes spirituality and includes those tools, but that's why you're missing part of it, okay? Now the flip side, as I said when we started, is traditional talk therapy. Traditional talk therapy would be talking with someone, a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, and talking about what's going on. And you're talking about it, and you're talking about it, and you're talking about it. Now, plenty of those people may also have other tools and things that they give you. So this, everybody's different. But if you're only doing the talk therapy part, the same thing is going to happen, because you're understanding what happened in your life, you're understanding, how you want to think differently. But again, now you're not connecting the spiritual piece, and you're not connecting the nervous system that needs to be addressed. The nervous system, bottom line, needs to be addressed consistently, and you're not addressing the emotional impact. When we have experiences that have an emotional response, what experience does not have an emotional response, but a significant emotional response that is impactful in a more depleting way, a more upsetting way. Something happens and it's painful. The impact of that emotion stays in our body until we do what it takes to clear it. The energy of that emotion can stay stuck in the body. Every emotion has an energy. That's what emotions are. Energy in motion. Love has an energy to it. Anger has an energy to it. Energy needs to move, just like water, like a stream or a brook. Energy needs to move. The energy of emotions will stay stuck in our body. So if we're doing the talk therapy and we're not addressing the impact in the physical body, we're not addressing the nervous system, we're not addressing the spiritual connection back to ourselves and what our spirit needs as a result of those things. Again, it's like reading a book and starting in the middle of the book and missing all of the other chapters. So it's so important, if you have stayed stuck in patterns, to make sure you're looking at all of those pieces. Don't do a spiritual bypass and ignore the part of healing what's actually in your body and not doing the part of changing how you think. That's what you're responsible for. Don't do the part of changing how you think or, dismantling those experiences without doing the deeper spirituality work and without addressing your nervous system and the emotional impact. That's what you need to do, is all of it. So if you've been stuck, that's why. There's pieces there that you're not doing. And as someone who spent decades, and the impact of that or the outcomes of that, you see in your relationships, you see in your physical health, in how vital you feel, how joyful you feel on a regular basis, or how anxious you are, how relationships seem disconnected and really hard, how you always feel like your life is just here to work. What do you mean joy? My life is about work. If that's you, something, somewhere, several of those things are missing. All of that is in the Return to You program, all of those pieces. That's why it is the foundational program of what I do with people. Yes, I do some parts of those for people. I do things in other ways, but that program addresses all of that because that is the foundation of how you have to heal. If you're ready to do all of it, if you know, but you don't know how, but you know you want to, and you know that that's what your life is asking you to do for the next chapter going forward, and you want to be responsible for your life and for completing the past so that you can create a different future. Drop me a comment, tell me you're ready, let's connect and talk. It's not a small thing, it's multiple pieces, so I want to have a conversation with you to understand really where you're at and to share with you what I do. But if you're ready, put ready in the comments, and then I'll make sure that I reach out to you and we connect, okay? Either way, make sure you're not doing a spiritual bypass because you're doing a disservice. You're not really getting the changes that you want. And also, if you're just doing the therapy and not addressing the spirituality and not doing the emotions and the nervous system, for either one of those are missing pieces typically. Okay? I'd love to hear from you. This could be the year that you don't stay stuck. Have a good day.